Nowhere. Nowhere. An interstellar outpost built inside the floating skull of a fallen celestial. It's a place where the galaxy's greatest protectors and most cunning criminals can find momentary respite on their travels across the endless void of space. And one day, not long ago, it happened to host both in the very same seedy watering hole. "Let's play another hand," Gambit said from his table at the back of Starlin's bar. "Winner takes all. I'll do." Ooh, ooh, I like who got himself a fancy new deck of cards, Rocky Raccoon said, raising a furry eyebrow as his companion pulled out a stack of shivering playing cards from the pocket of his trench coat. "A gift," Gambit said, his lip curling up into a cunning smile, "from the Grandmaster himself." The other players at the table, including a stone-faced Cronin and a reptilian Bandoon, began to whisper in disbelief. "An Elder of the Universe," said Rocket. "Those guys are nothing but trouble." I heard they added. I heard they built a new domain on the edge of the universe," the Cronin added. "They say it's some sort of cosmic theme park," the Bandu chimed in. "They hold countless species captive and make them fight for the entertainment of their guests. What have you gone and got yourself into this time, Remy?" asked Rocket. Remy LeBeau stopped and considered his friend's question for a moment. What had he gotten himself into? It wasn't an easy thing to explain, and Gambit was known for keeping his cards close to the vest. But the connection he had built with Rocket over the years was strong enough that he felt comfortable revealing a few secrets. No, if you heard, mon ami, Gambit began. "But Rogue and I finally tied the knot." "Yeah, I heard," Rocket grumbled as he took a swig of his drink. "My invite must have gotten locked in the intergalactic post." It was an intimate affair," Gavin continued, putting a comforting hand on Rocket's shoulder. "Just us and our fellow X-Men. Nothing too fancy." "You're not making it any better, Cajun," Rocket snarled. Anna Mary deserves nothing less than that flarkin' fairy tale." Ooh, just shush. More so cheers," Gabba replied, "but the universe had other plans for us. Before we could even cut the cake, Krakoa got swept up in some sort of temporal tempest that had transported the entire island and almost every mutant on it into the distant future." "The time stream entanglement," Rocket said knowingly. "Yeah, us Guardians have been trying to clean up the mess that thing left behind ever since, and we can barely keep up. We've been fighting our tails off across every reality, from Clintar to Krakoa, back to Clintar, and then Kunlun to Kunlun, and probably a few other places that don't start with K." Rocket paused for a moment as he realized that something in the Gambit story wasn't adding up. "Wait, if you were on Krakoa and then when it got ported across time and space," Rocket said, "then why the heck weren't you at the Hellfire Gala when Ultron attacked? We really could have used you in Rogue. Mostly Rogue." "Funny," Gambit said as he dealt another card to each of the players at the table. "But the truth is, By the time Krakoa was under siege, we were already on the other side of the galaxy. On the other side of the galaxy. Doing what exactly? Rocket asked before suddenly putting up a hand to stop Gambit from responding. Actually, I don't want to know. You love birds. You love birds. Keep the gruesome details out to yourself. What kind of man do you make me out to be? What kind of man do you make me out to be? Gambit inquired. Let's just say you've got a reputation, Remy, Rocket replied. And it ain't just because of the best thieves in the galaxy, after me, of course. Well, my reputation as a thief is the one that really brought me here, Gambit said in a hushed tone. But Rogue don't know that part. At least not yet. I'm listening, Rocket replied. Like you said, Gambit continued, Anna Mary deserves only the best. And when our wedding didn't go as planned, I thought I could make it up to her by giving her the honeymoon of her dreams. I got Stormy to reach out to her boy Leroy de Wakanda to loan us one of his fancy spaceships so I could sweep my bride off on a romantic voyage across the Asturias. But let me guess, Rocket said, peeking over his cards suspiciously. You had ulterior motives. You know me so well. Gambit said. But they ain't as sinister as you might assume. Let me be the judge of that. When that nasty time storm hit, Gambit explained, me and Anna Mary lost more than just the perfect wedding day. We lost our wedding rings too. They got sucked into the void, vanishing into time and space. It haunted me that I wasn't able to give Rogue the symbol of my devotion that she deserved. So I started digging around to see how I could get her a new ring, a better one, something as one of a kind as she is. Let me guess, Rocket laughed. That's when Grandmaster showed up with an offer you couldn't refuse. Indeed he did, Gambit said. You know Rogue don't really care about all that material stuff, right? Rockets. You know Rogue don't really care about all that material stuff, right? Rocket said, tapping the table to request another card. All she wants is you, dummy. That may be all she wants, Gambit said slightly across the table, Rocket. But she deserves more. She deserves the best. Even if it means making a deal with an elder, Rocket questioned. Do you know how dangerous that is? Of course I do, Gambit said. But any good thief knows that the biggest risks come with the biggest rewards. And let me tell you, these rewards are Trisgrand. Give me the details already, Rocket demanded. The suspense is killing me. The Grandmaster appeared to me back on Krakoa in his astral form, Gambit explained. Said all he wanted was for me to steal some sort of mysterious contract from his fellow elder, the Collector. Seems simple enough. I've heard rumors of that I've heard rumors of that contract, the Bardoon across the table said. Do tell, Rocket said, curious to learn what the Bardoon claimed to know. Information like that comes with a cost, the Bardoon said. Afraid all my credits are already in the pot, Gambit replied. But I happen to have an extremely rare item from Earth, Rocket chimed in. Something practically priceless. Tell me more. The Bardoon demanded. It's a completely authentic signed photograph of an intergalactic pop sensation Luna Snow, Rocket said, pulling out the glossy headshot. Get your scaly hands on this, and you'll be the be the envy of all your clutch mates. Deal, Bandit said, ecstatically swiping the photo from Rocket's hand, while Rocket silently telling Gambit that he owed him another one. It is said the collector acquired the contract from a red-skinned stranger in exchange for the unusual contraption that looked like a pile of tangled pipes. He seemed to be convinced that he was going to be able to profit greatly from the deal. It's like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, Rocket said. But I'm more curious about the deal you made with Remy. What the Grandmaster promise you in return, pal? A pair of wedding rings, Gambit answered, forged from Canovium. Plus, we'd get used to his grand garden as the final destination for our honeymoon. You should have asked for way more, Rocket said with a shrug. That jerk's got endless resources. Maybe so, Gambit said, but this job ain't about the money. This one's for Rogue. With that, Gambit dealt one last card to Cronin, who immediately slammed his hand down and stormed away. Rocket smirked and pushed all his credits to the center of the table with his tiny hands. If this really is about Rogue, Rocket asked, then why are you hiding the truth from her? To protect her, of course, Gambit said. And Gambit paused and took a deep breath. Because she never would have let me fall through with it if she knew what I was up to. Bingo! Bingo! Rocket exclaimed. Honestly, I'm a little surprised the Quiet Council let you blast off across the universe. What with everything that's been going down on Krakoa. They almost didn't, Gambit responded. But I convinced them that our honeymoon could also be a diplomatic mission. Me and my girl would get the joy of traveling the galaxy together, but we'd also be planting Krakoan gateways everywhere we stopped to help mutants who got lost in time and space to find their way back home. You think I'd be able to You think I'd be in a dump like this during my honeymoon otherwise? We could have gotten straight to the Grand Garden. But instead, we're here, because nowhere's got high-foot traffic and endless sources of information. You know, the best kind of place for finding people. May not have been your first choice, but hey, everybody still wins, Rocket said. Well, except for this guy. Rocket revealed his card, showing a perfect hand. The Badoon next to him realized he had lost the round and showed his fangs instead. Impossible! You must have cheated! Snapped the Badoon. That's quite an accusation, Gambit said sternly. If I were you, I'd hold my forked tongue. I'd call on our gods to punish you mammals, the Badoon replied, but they have gone silent, so I'll just do it myself. Before anyone could react, Rocket went flying backwards, hit point blank by an energy bolt from the barrel of the Badoon's blaster, which the reptilian rogue had been hiding under the table. You're next, the Badoon growled at Gambit, flashing his sharp claws as he stiffly stood from his seat. Keep your hands to yourself, Lizard, Gambit yelled, while Gambit deals you a final one. Gambit quickly grabbed the handful of credits from the table, using his mutant power to charge them with kinetic energy. He rapidly released them in the direction of the angry Badoon. The explosion they unleashed sent the Badoon scurrying away from the Starlings in terror. That was a sweet deal, Rocket moaned, but I think it may be game over for me. Ruby. Gambit looked over and saw Rocket lying on the floor of the bar. The gaping blast wound he had suffered from the Badoon's sneak attack looked far worse than Gambit had expected. Hit me right in the old wound, Rocket said, when I got back on Clint's eye. Thought the dang thing was healing, but not fast enough, I guess. Don't you fret, mon ami, Gambit said. You gonna live to play another day. You got my word. Gambit held one of the shimmering cards he had been dealing and began to charge it with energy as well. But the way it sparkled was like anything Rocket had ever seen before. What are you? Rocket started to ask, not sure if he was hallucinating from the pain. These cards, Gambit said. They were a down payment from the Grandmaster. He says they were made from Canovium. With the right kind of charge, they can do some serious damage, or if you're lucky, they can undo just as much. Gambit knew he wasn't telling his friends the whole truth. He had conveniently left out the part about how the Grandmaster had used his power primordial to repair some damage to Gambit's frontal lobe. The process unlocked a new ability to infuse objects with non-explosive kinetic energy, kick-starting cellular regeneration in organic matter, and enhancing healing capabilities. Gambit knew full well how Rocket felt about being subjected to someone else's experiments, and neither of the heroes currently had the time or energy to debate ethics. He may have been holding his tongue, but not his cards. Gambit flicked one directly at Rocket. The injured raccoon didn't have the strength left to try to swipe it away. As the card hit its target, Rocket was engulfed in an aura of energy, and when it finally faded, his wounds were gone. What the flark just happened? Rocket asked, his hands frantically searching his body for any remaining trace of the damage he had incurred. I saved your life, homie, Gambit said, grinning. Now you owe me, Rocket sighed. And that means I'm keeping my yap shut and not telling Rogue about what you up to, don't it? You know me so well, Gambit said. Fine, Rocket replied. You go have your perfect honeymoon in the Elder's weird domain. But if you mess things up, which, let's face it, you probably will, I get to be the first to say I told you so. Deal? Sounds fair to me, Gambit agreed. Now how about we play another game? Just you and me. Gambit pulled a single die from his pocket. Rocket instantly snatched it from Gambit's hand to give it a closer look. Not so fast, Rocket said. I saw one of these back on Game World once. It's a Chronovium die. It'll roll any number its owner wants. Where'd you get your hairless hands on one of... Oh, the Grandmaster. Right. If I finish the job and steal that contract for him, Gambit said, he's gonna turn this little beauty into Animere's new wedding ring. Can't get more special than that, Rocket said, nodding with approval. Maybe your heart is in the right place after all, Remy. It won't be for long. It won't be for long, a voice yelled from the doorway of the bar. Not after I rip it out of your chest! Rocket and Gambit turned to see the Badoon that had fled earlier, returning to the scene with several of his reptile brethren. They looked ready for a brawl. Guess we're playing another round after all, Rocket mused as he reached under the table and drew his oversized ion cannon. Gambit grabbed his staff and prepared to leap into action alongside his rodent ally. But just then, he felt a familiar hand on his shoulder. He turned to find himself face to face with his wife, Rogue, and she did not look thrilled. Thought we were supposed to be on a honeymoon, Remy, she said. But here you are in the middle of the night playing cards and getting into all sorts of trouble with this unsavory crew. I'm quite savory, thank you very much, Rocket said, pretending to be insulted, as he unleashed a volley of cannon fire at the approaching Badoon warriors. And it ain't your boy's fault. It ain't your boy's fault. It ain't your boy's fault. I was the one who dragged Remy into this mess. Anna Marie. Wasn't I, Gaijin? Oi. Gambit hesitantly agreed. It was all the raccoons doing. I expected better from you, Rocky. I expected better from you, Rocky, Rogue said, shaking her head disapprovingly. Remy, on the other hand, I'll make it up to you, sure, Gambit promised, right after we deal with those jokers. Leave these cold-blooded creeps to me. Rogue said, rushing into the clutch of the reptilian rabble-rousers and dispatching them with a few swift punches. That's my girl, Rocket said, cheering Rogue's victory. Non, monsieur, Gambit said, kissing the back of Rogue's hand. That is my girl. And if you wanted to say that, Mr. LeBeau, Rogue replied, then we better hit the space highway before Rocky here can pull us to any more of his shenanigans. Or Madame LeBeau, Gambit replied with a smile. The Grand Garden awaits. As the happy couple exited Starlin's bar, Rocket desperately wanted to come clean and tell Rogue the whole truth, but he owed Gambit, and that meant giving him the chance to pull this off on his own terms. So instead, he called after his friends to wish them well and asked them one smaller favor. You two kids, be safe and have fun, Rocket said, touching the healed wound with a strange kind of look of nostalgia in his eyes. And if you happen to see a cute little otter named Lila in the collector's minigary, you tell her that Rocket's coming to find her, okay? Anything for you, sugar, Rogue replied back. Anything for you, and anything for you, love, Gambit added. Oh boy.